It's Josadak. And first of all, I want to apologize about yesterday's video. I know it wasn't quality at all, but I really wanted to just I really believe this is a diary, and I'm like, some days are not going to be perfect, some days are not going to be the best. But yesterday, I stayed over at my parents' house because we had plans to go out to dinner today, and so I kind of just wanted to all drive up together because they live further south. And it was really fun. My dad made us watch 3 episodes of a K-drama that he's obsessed with. And he kept telling me how the main character reminds him of me. And I was like, oh, okay. And I watched it, and yeah. We're a lot alike. She's just very like happy and smiley, and she's kind of goofy, and she's kind of like youthful, spirited, even though she's like my age. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much me. Sorry, I'm making tea. It always sounds like a distant war. But I'm making myself tea because I need something that's anxiety relieving, because I have been feeling something very odd. And that thing is kind of like this homesickness, which is odd because I'm like only 40 minutes from where I grew up, but like just being around my family today, I feel like I didn't have enough time with them. I feel like we didn't really get to talk as much as I wanted, and like I don't know, I miss my mom and I feel like I feel like my mom deserves the world, and I feel like the one thing she wants is me around. Um, and it makes me sad that I can't give that to her, because realistically, I want to like travel the world and do my own things. But I do miss her a lot, and every time I see her and I hug her, I'm reminded of that. The other thing is, I feel like I'm getting to know my dad in a new way. He is, I think he's learned a lot over the last couple years, specifically like because of me and my sister as well. Like, we're the 2 girls that he ended up raising closer than his other kids, and we were the last. And he has an attachment, I think, that kind of hurt him in the beginning. But I feel like he's grown a lot as a person, and I kind of want to get to know his story better, because all I know is like bits and pieces from like family members, his own preaching. Like when he preaches, that's when I learn the most about his past. And he has lore, let me tell you, like crazy. But specifically, I kind of want to know the person that he is now that he's learned all these things, specifically with how to let go and how to like progress and grow and think about things a little bit differently. And the dad I grew up with was a little bit harsher and a little bit less forgiving and a little bit more just far more by the book and far more isolated and confined. I feel like he's gotten older and he's realized how, I don't really know, because I need to talk to him more. And now there was an era where we just didn't speak because so much childhood things were blocking me from being able to connect with him, and I think that may have taught him something as well. I think he is well aware of why that time was the way it was. But I still feel like I think growing up, I had a vision of him being this really scary man that I needed to please, or else something bad would happen to me. And although I don't necessarily feel that anymore, um, I still feel like straight up living with my parents, like they want me to, is out of the question because of that. I don't want that to ever. I don't want to ever feel like I'm being forced, or I don't want to ever feel confined again. I don't want to ever feel like I need to please again. Now I just love to honor my parents by taking them out, doing things that they don't usually do, whether that's dinner or travel or just nice things that I feel like they just never had. And I like always love to bring my parents gifts from my travels. I always love to please them and like honor them in that way. And if I have money, like I give it to them, and I invite them over, and I do as much as I can. I was thinking today, I'm like, am I a good daughter? I don't know. I think I make my mom laugh, and I think I confuse my dad. I think he's just like, why is she so like rambunctious and like wild? When really, I think there were times when my dad was super strict with me and my sister, and he was just like, the only way you could connect with him was through God. And that was very, very like, I don't even want to say difficult because we were expert at it. We were experts. Um, we like, we knew the whole thing. Um, but dang, where was I going with that? Um, I feel like I'm coming into a place where I'm like, my parents are getting older, so am I, and tomorrow's not guaranteed, which we've always known. And I don't want to be in that phase of my life where I feel like I need to be with them every second because I'm scared that something's gonna happen to them. But I because I there's still so much of the world that I need to go explore, and I have plans to live in other places, other countries, and spend time with my friends, and this goes far beyond not wanting to do things because I'm a daughter of an immigrant and a religious parent and having that feeling like a chokehold. It goes far beyond that. Like, that is not even a question anymore. We've broken that. um it goes it is now out of a place of fear because I feel like for some reason that there's some sort of clock ticking, and it really scares me. um but I spent time with them yesterday, and I feel like I didn't really get to speak to them much during dinner because it was raining and my dad was cold, and he was trying his very best to like um, lift up the mood of the table. And I feel like I didn't really get to spend as much time as I wanted to. And I didn't know what to do, but my parents want me to move back into town. And I called my mom today because I thought it over, and I said, hey, I want to go live there for a week, if that's okay with you, because I want to spend time with you guys and, with my sister too, and all the kids in the neighborhood that I used to take care of. I really want to just like come back for a week. And she was overjoyed because I've been living out of the house for over a year and a half now. And yeah, like over a year and a half, which may seem wild because I think a lot of kids leave by the time they're 18. Or at least that used to be the goal. I don't even know if that's still a possibility in what year is it? In 2024, because a lot of kids are either moving back in with their parents or don't leave at all. My circumstances were a bit difficult, but either way, I'm really feeling like I can't stop my adventure to go spend every waking hour with my parents, even though I'm afraid of. I think this is what life is, huh? This is like choosing. And I feel so bad for kids who didn't get as much time with their parents as I did. I got 25 years, and some of those years were really difficult because of, the stress of living with a parent who's constantly chasing God and reminding you to chase God, and can feel very confining, and suffocating. But, even with those hard years, I'm grateful for them. And I can still look over all of it like it was a blink of an eye, which is crazy because it wasn't, definitely wasn't. But having been away from them for a year and a half, over a year and a half, I really just want to spend some time with my mom. I want to hug her. Because when my parents, this is such a weird video, that he's done. When my parents got into that accident, I don't know if I've ever even explained that accident. If you've ever heard the song The 30th by Billie Eilish, that is what happened with my parents. If you've ever heard The 30th. And we thought they were goners. Like, I need to make a whole video about it one day, but I was like, oh, I'm an orphan. And I think I was 20 years old at the time, 20 or 21. I was still in college, and they were in a different country, and they had gotten into a serious accident. And the only proof of them being alive, because they weren't answering their phones, was these footage that was taken by strangers on the street, of them being taken out of the vehicle unconsciously, and they looked dead. They looked not alive. And oddly enough, I was at peace. I cried for sure, but I had peace in my heart about it. And that could only be explained by the fact that I just knew. I knew that they were still alive, and they were. That whole situation had them staying there an extra month longer than they had planned. But then eventually they came home. And, you know, of course that puts things into perspective, but you still got to live your own life. And it was still after all that that I ended up kind of abruptly leaving home. Anyway, I feel like I've gotten into a new season with my dad specifically that is me wanting to get to know him, and hopefully him wanting to get to know me, because I don't know if he knows me. Like I can pretty much tell you he doesn't really understand me. He's like, she's kind of different. But that's fine, because I know he's proud of me, and I just want to get to know him as he is now, because he's I didn't even know how to explain it. He's different now, and he's not the like scary figure in my like distant daydreams. He's different now, and I really want to get to know him now. So that's the goal. That's the goal for this year at least, because my travel plans exceed next year are so crazy. But obviously we just never know what's gonna happen. But I don't know, I have this like deep desire to like connect and like get close with them again. And I also realized how like fickle or just like very fragile mental health is. Like I was like feeling super sad because of today, and being reminded of like my parents and everything, and like they're getting all of that, and just being like so scared that I was going to spiral, because I have spiraled before. And I think that lasted like 2 weeks, and it was the most unhealthy as my brain has ever been. Even through all that, I was consciously aware of what my brain was doing, and I was like, you need to get out of this. You need to stop. You need to come back, and you need to pull yourself out stronger. I'm so grateful to my sister for clocking everything and for being there for me. And I'm so grateful to my cousin Cristal and her husband, and for kind of like also taking the reins and helping me out. But one thing that was able to get me out of a rut like that was family. Family. So I'm scared to travel, because I know family won't be there, and if something happens up here mentally or even physically, I won't have anyone, and that scares me. But I plan to make lots of friends and learn a lot about myself, which I already have in these like years in my 20s. I've learned a lot about myself, of course. But I just it's scary, but I have to do it. I just know it. I have to do it. I'm gonna be that person that travels and makes content and writes, and she's a writer, and a successful writer at that. Please be on the lookout, because your girl had to pay for an editor, and it was expensive. But I think it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. I think if I believe in the work, which I do, then I think it's worth it. And I'm even more excited for my second book. I don't know. I'm even more excited for my second book, because I think I'm just really excited for it. I can't wait to start writing it, because the narrator's amazing, and like, it's so different and unique. But the book that I have now, she is near completion. We're gonna have to do like another round or two of editing, and I'm so excited about it, you guys. And this anxiety that I feel, I think needs to be channeled into the book more, because it is about that. I feel like I've been yapping for 15 minutes. And well, let me get my tea. I don't know, should I bring you? Okay, come on. I don't even know what kind of tea I want. Herbal, please. I used to have, oof, that lighting is bad. I have two little like linternas. I don't know what to call it. Two little sensitive like lights here. And they are out of commission. Well, they both died, and it's because I turned them on and I forget to turn them off, and they're AAA battery. That's so expensive. I should have just bought the ones that recharge. because I didn't want to buy the ones that recharge because I don't like recharging all the time, but they last. And these ones barely last. But yeah, I will not be repurchasing. Okay, peppermint and chamomile, which is my go-to combo. Ooh, jasmine tea would have been good too. Oh, I forgot to buy more. I'm gonna tell my sister to bring me one. The sunflower honey. I'm gonna have to look it up online. I can't just go to the European market every time I need honey. I bought 2 jars. And you know what? It lasted me a while. I think it lasted me like, how long? 2 months? A month? I think like 2 months. I've also decided to cut back on the sweets this week. Because, girl, I've been having too much. I've been having way too much. And I'm proud of myself. Ooh. And I'm proud of myself today because there was a lot of sugar cookies and peanut butter cookies around, and I had one, and the peanut butter cookie was amazing. It was from Publix. It was delicious. I was shocked. I was like, wow, this is probably one of the best peanut butter cookies that I've had, and there was dozens of them, but I only had one. I did tell my cousin to tackle me if I went for another one, and she did have to jump in front of me a couple times, but it was so good. But I'm trying to cut back, y'all. I'm trying to cut back. Okay, I have my tea. I need oat milk. Another thing that really scares me is the fact that I often don't leave. If you don't monitor me, I often don't leave my apartment. One thing I do not like is driving, and you have to drive everywhere. You have to drive everywhere in Florida. Unless I Uber, of course, but I don't want to do that. One, it's expensive. 2, you can't always trust Uber drivers, even though I like Ubering. But yeah. The thing is, I've gotten much better with driving. That's really good. I've gotten much better with driving. I used to like be terrified of driving all the time, and now I drive like a ton more. I drive so much now. I still don't like it, but I do it a lot more, and I'm more confident. And I'm trying to get to a place where I love to drive, but also it's also just hot outside, and the idea of going from my apartment down to the car and having the car get cold and it takes a couple minutes. I know it's like, it's ridiculous, but I don't like it. It's ridiculous, but I'm not having a good time. I don't. And what time is it? Do you guys think I should add more of these? I have a bunch more. Should I add more of these squares? I also have the amazing, what is this? Who are you? I think it's like a fruit fly. I have a bunch of fruit flies, and I think it's the plants, because like my actual like, I completely forgot to put these in the fridge. It's okay, I'll use it tomorrow. But what was I talking about? My fruit, like the only fruit I have is the limes and the bananas. That's it. I don't have anything else. Where are these fruit flies coming from? Are they gnats? Are gnats different from fruit flies? I feel like they are. Yeah. I have gnats then. Only like 2, but like still. I don't want any. Not a fan of bugs. Let me think. Is there any bugs that I like? Beetles are kind of cool. That's it. Butterflies are kind of cool. Butterflies are really cool. What was I talking about before this? I don't remember. Okay, so like the people across from me in the apartment, they moved. And it was like a family. It was like a man, a woman, and a little boy. I think they moved because like stuff was getting taken out of there. And yeah, I think they moved. But and now's around the time where people move, like June and July is around the time people move, because of the lease being like 6 months. I don't know. But they moved, and there's new people in there because I saw them bringing stuff in, and it's like all boys who are like ex-frat boys, as in like probably were frats in college, but they're out of college now, so they're ex-frat boys, and like they're all men. And I don't know, I was thinking like maybe if I make friends with them, if something crazy happens, they'll protect me. But as a woman, you know that can go the opposite way. You know that they can get crazy, and I don't trust men. But I'm always nice. I'm always nice. You say hi to me, I say hi back. And I gladly offer my highs. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. That's a hard one. Good afternoon is so hard to say, like in passing. Good afternoon. It's so hard. You think it's easy. It's so hard. It's like people are coming like this way. Like, good afternoon. It's just like no one says it. And I'm trying to bring it back. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good evening is so formal. But like, I want to say it. It's just like, it just sounds like, what do you do with that when they're like, when you say good evening and another person, like, if they say it to you and like someone just told you good evening, you got to be like, oh, good evening to you too. They probably haven't said the word evening in like a million years. It's been that long. I don't think it's been heard since 2010. It's been that long. 2010 was that year. It really was. 2010, 2016, memorable. 2012, oof, nobody remembers 2011. Like, nobody knows. 2010, I think I was 12 that year. Yep, memorable year for me. 2012, super memorable. Everybody remember. 2013, also memorable. 2014, nobody knows that. 2015, yeah, she had a moment. 2016 was something. 2020, well, no one remembers 2017 or 2018. 2019, yeah. Well, 2018 had a moment, but nobody remembers 2017. 2020, I don't think anybody's going to forget that year ever. 2021 also, like, pretty major. 2022, she really did something. 2023, she wasn't as, like, big as she could have been. For me, it was big. Like, a lot of things happened. I'll never forget that year. But 2024, so far, she's been quite, I feel like 2025 is really gonna hit. Really gonna hit. Or maybe 26. We'll see when we get there. I can make a whole video about how terrifying, like, the fact that, like, maybe we just won't get there. I don't even want to talk about it. Oh my god. I don't even know. I was thinking that maybe when I, like, if I ever adopt, or if anyone whose life I've ever impacted ever decides to watch these videos, I think that would be really nice. They could hear my thoughts. It's like a diary. I mean, it is a diary. I've already explained that. Okay. Bye. I think that's everything for now. This table needs to get cleaned. It's disgusting. It's okay.